Hello. How are you? Now, when I woke up this morning, what was I absolutely sure of? At least to me. I was sure that I woke up. Now, I don't know if you did. I have no idea to know if you did for sure, but I know that I did. At least I perceive that I did. Right? So, hello, my name's Couvee, the grandfather, and this week, we're going to talk about I am a disappointment to my parents. In my case, mostly my father. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? Well, I think all of us identify with the statement I made earlier, that I am sure that I am awake, that I am a thoughtful being. I was reading recently a book by Tolstoy called The Confessions, and he says essentially, we have 4 ways of viewing the world. 4 ways. One, of course, is in ignorance, total ignorance. I don't know that I'm even awake truly. The second one is that I know, and then all I want to do is take alcohol, drugs, hide away. The third way is to actually kill myself because I'm so overwhelmed. Suicide. And then the fourth way, finally, is to go inside of myself and have my private conversation with God, Gaia, the universe, find who I am. Now, just before I go on, I'd like to thank you for those wonderful line and email messages. Please keep them coming. They mean a lot to us. So today I would like to share a little bit about my life, because I think in a sense that's all I truly know, and perhaps we can all identify with my life into our own life, so to speak. So when I grew up, it was just after World War II, and my father was an ex-soldier, military man, and then they had unemployment in Canada for almost a year, and then he got a position with a logging company, with a lumber company. And the money at the time was pretty good, but more importantly, it was stable income. So these young men, my father was 19 when he joined the army, and he got out of the military when he was almost 26. So he had almost 6 years, if you will, of what could be considered chaos. Total state of chaos, right? So then he gets a job, and the first thing he achieved, like I was saying earlier, was stability. Now, this stability gave him a way to understand the world. And at the time, a lot of things were going on geopolitically. You had the Korean War, and then you had the Vietnam War. Lots and lots of chaos, and young people that were a little bit older than me at the time, the ones that were born during the war or just after, accepted this. They accepted that this was normal. We had to emulate or copy our parents. We had to be strong citizens. We had to join the army. We had to be respected in that sense. But then a little bit later into the 70s, people started to realize, wait a moment, this is nonsense, this concept of war. So there was a huge rebellion, if you will, into the 70s, the time of love, lots of stimulation. As Tolstoy says, the second thing, lots of hedonism, right? There was lots of drugs, lots of alcohol, people didn't get married, etc., etc., etc. And then, of course, as we came to the year 2000, post-millennial age, so to speak, then we started to see the internet age. And the internet age has once again produced a sense of consumption, consumerism, because the internet shows us that I can do anything, I can be anyone, I can have anything. And of course, this is not true, as we know, without very, very hard work, but we believe it to be so. So the nonsensical videos that we see now, I was watching one the other day, and it had 1 billion hits on the internet. Absolute madness. So my parents didn't understand me ultimately when I wanted to study philosophy, it sounded like madness in a sense, right? So, what's the solution? I think once again, coming back to Tolstoy, we have to do those 4 things. First of all, we have to realize I'm not a stupid person. I realize that I'm alive. There's something special in my life. I don't want to devote my whole life to just running away from these types of philosophical questions. I don't want to end my life. I don't want to commit suicide. Then ultimately, I must come to peace with my God, the universe, Gaia, however you want to describe it. So I would like to read you something very quickly from the chapter in our book, When You Are Not Understood, chapter 22. I am sure that all of us have been here. You are explaining something to the assembled multitudes in great detail. Your audience of 2 looks on in rapt attention. What a clever man, you say to yourself. What an erudite and intelligent man. You deliver your main point, and that is responded to with a bewildering question. You realize in a moment of lonely horror that they have not understood what you said at all. Whose fault is this? It is, of course, your fault. And this essentially was how I had an experience, or how I had a relationship with my father. He did not understand who I was at all. And I was too immature, probably, to try and explain who I really was. I could do this now, and actually we had a conversation before he died at 83 or so, but it took a very, very long time. But I think I'll leave you with this thought. The world, life itself is difficult. The world is a chaotic place, and our job, I believe, as human beings, is to somehow try to contain or control the chaos. And controlling the chaos, in theory, leads us to an understanding of the universe. And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. Click the like button at the bottom of the page. And remember, in a way, if I really want to control the chaos, I have to remind myself that critical thinking is great. You do not have to be a wage slave. You can have a career, but you need to learn to think. Critical thinking is great. Please have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.